Well, yeah, tough battle today. Two good teams battling start to finish. Really, this was 40 minutes of it. There wasn't any two. I haven't really looked at the stats, but pretty even across the board. It looks like, and pretty even. What was the biggest lead today, Randy?
Ours at
7. What was theirs? What? So not much separated us most of the day. I think we got the big boost at the end of the third with the big block by Serena to erase some points at the other end, and then we get the 3 right at the buzzer there. That's always a big boost. And then I think, not ever giving the lead back in the fourth was critical. We took it, and we kept them at least away from us, and them playing a little bit of catch up. Now we didn't run away from them, obviously, but we certainly made it harder on them.
3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. You're down 6. 5 minutes of game time or so later, you're up 5. What is it that changed in that stretch when you had that 11-0 run?
Yeah, a lot of the games kind of, I think this, one, defensively we were stubborn. Offensively, we started to get some better movement. And better movement. We lifted our centers up out of there. We lifted Lester up out of there. We lifted Lee up out of there above the free throw line to try to give us some backdoor options and to maybe put a little bit of more concern of them defending us so aggressively. So I thought that opened some things up for us, and took care of it pretty good in that stretch, Got good looks, and I just think I talk all the time about you've got to be a smarter team as the game progresses. You've got to be tougher, and I think today we were.
How big was Ziana Walker's performance for you today?
Huge. Zai has been playing so well, getting so comfortable, I think, with everything we're asking her to do. She alleviated a lot of pressure off the point guards today, We were able to initiate offense with her. But then just big shots, big defensive plays. Jay got in a little bit of foul trouble, so, Zai had to take more of an active role on Booker. Booker's a heck of a player. She hit a stretch there in the third where she was so good. And I needed to make probably a switch earlier in that with our coverage. I do think that helped us. She was just getting so deep in the paint with that mid-range shot that she is so good at. I think a lot of things have to happen in a game like this, but us taking care of the ball, us limiting them to one shot was critical. And as strange enough as some of the shot clock stuff, that made them defend for a long time. And we ended up scoring some baskets at the very tail end of some shot clocks that were big plays.
Texas came into the game averaging 88 points a game, but you hold them to 58. What was the key to success against their offense?
Well, I think limiting their second chances. They're such a physical, long team. And they can put lineups out there that, boy, you're trying to match up with Jones, you're trying to match up with Muhammad, you're trying to match up with Moore. And there are not many teams that have the ability to go 6'5", 6'4", 6'1", and physical. I thought Gabby battled down there. Muhammad only gets 3 rebounds today. I thought she battled. I thought Gisela battled down there. I thought Eliza gave us valuable 3 minutes. I thought Amani Lester gave us a valuable 5-6 minutes. So I think that it was going to take everybody to do this, but to hold them under 58, I think a couple things. One, we had enough patience offensively, and while it looked ugly at times, like I said, it limited the possessions. That helped us at the other end.
Was limiting of possessions, is that a goal you had coming into the game?
Not really. No, it wasn't. We didn't talk about it. What we did talk about was that we needed to get more ball movement. We needed to have the ball change sides of the floor. I think because they put such pressure on you and you're not able to easily turn it to your first option, that player ends up cutting, that player ends up filling, and inherently that takes more time off the clock to do it. So it was not the game plan coming in. We felt like if they went big that we would have some advantages in transition, but we just didn't take advantage enough for that to be something that we emphasized as the game went on.
What was it like to see the crowd of 7,000 plus here today?
You know, well, here's what I want to say about it. I've seen a lot of social media, and everybody's telling everybody to get out here and got to get to the game to support the team and got to do this, and it'll be a crime if we don't have 10,000. Man, just enjoy life, guys. I mean, this is serious weather out there. Anybody that came to this game, I am thanking them 100% to get out and make the commitment to come support us. I thought it was an awesome crowd. Most women's basketball teams across the country would have had 1,500 in there. And everybody always names Iowa, whatever, but I'm telling you right now, that's a hell of a crowd. It's a hell of a commitment from 7, 8, whatever it ended up being, crowd to be there. And I know the ones that weren't there were watching on TV, so I probably can't thank them enough. Because I saw the stuff this week and I'm thinking, I don't know what the crowd's going to be. I know we're going to show up, but I was amazed how many people were there with what we've got going on weather-wise out there. I'm glad I only had to be in the weather about a minute and a half. I got a really good parking spot out here. Really good parking spot. And so I can't thank them enough. I hope that comes across that way because I never want to respond to people on social media, but what I wanted to put out there was, guys, I saw one that 5,500 tickets sold, and then I'm like, well, we're going to get, I don't know. I just thought it was a great crowd, and I thought they helped us tremendously, and I thought the commitment for anybody to come to this game with the way the weather was to get here, I appreciate it.
Going back to Zai's three right at the end of the third quarter, going back to the crowd, it felt like a tense environment because it felt like for a while there Texas was just one step ahead. And then she hits that shot. Did it feel to you that was a big momentum swing, or did you have to see it when you score another 4 points and Texas has to take a timeout? Well,
I tell you what I saw, where I saw the change in us, and it didn't have anything to do with the score. That second half, we had 5 players locked into what the calls were, locked into passing the communication along. First half, I felt like we were frustrated, felt like I was calling a play, and that didn't get passed along to everybody. And I felt like there were some internal struggles going on with the physicality and the way the game was being played. And second half, saw none of that. So it was as good as we've been under adverse situations. So I saw it right away, even though they took the lead. Like I said, Madison Booker got deep early, and I probably should have changed that coverage a couple plays earlier, and that's what got them the lead. It wasn't anything our players were doing. It was credit to her for getting there, and credit for when we do make the change, our players do a great job with it.
So at that Texas timeout, sandstorm fires off, lights on phones all over the place,
yeah.
7,000 getting turned. Was there still just prime focus in that huddle? You're not catching stray eyes trying to check out the crowd?
You know, I didn't. I didn't. They were locked in. Now, I mean, I caught a glance of that when I came out of the huddle, and I thought, that looks pretty cool. But no, that was a huddle that was locked in, and it was everybody too. It was people behind the players in terms of who wasn't in the game. You know, everybody was having good comments. Hey, at that point we had we were switching more things late than we were early in the game. So yeah, I felt like our group was really locked in, and felt like that timeout I felt like we had a lot left in the tank, and felt like we were going to take it across the finish line.
What is your message to the team after beating a top 10 Texas squad?
Yeah, you know, it really won't change in the sense of that we've got to have good practices. We haven't concerned ourselves. I told them before the game that, you know, people talk all the time. Well, I even said 1 of 18, right? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean that we're going to prepare for every single game. Every single game is important. Every single game is prepared. But it's disingenuous to say that this wasn't a big game and we knew it. And I told them, this is a big game. We know it's a big game. But our preparation, our communication, those things don't change. Now, I'll continue to beat the drum that teams go one of two ways. They have success, they stop doing what got them there. Or they have success, and it drives them to do more. You know, which team are you going to be? And to this point, I told Brian Smoller this radio. I came off the road recruiting Thursday night. I had to meet our video Dalton at the office about 10 o'clock. I walked in, I heard the music, and I walked in there, and it was Zy Walker getting shots up at 10 after 10. And, you know, you always love to see that, but you also love to see a kid like that rewarded, because just hard work. So hopefully we can keep that DNA. That'll be the message.
First of all, Aoka reaches 2,000. What's that mean just for the program?
We needed every one of them today. We at least needed 2 more, right? Yeah, boy, she just does so much, and she's such a joy to coach in that she just does so much. She's not caught up, though, on individual things. Obviously, I think they mean something to her, because we all have that in us where we work hard, we want to see those accomplishments, but that's not why she plays. But I think she'll look back down the road and be really proud of these numbers, and she should be. She should be. And, you know, when you come back from an injury like that, and you have the long days in the weight room and the long days in the training room and the long days to get ready, and you don't know if it's going to work out or not, you just trust. Yeah, it's pretty special to watch her do what she does.
And had you seen a end of shot clock, end of half possession where Texas is running a similar play to what they ran at the last possession of the game?
Yeah.
That helped you prepare for it?
Well, my staff does a great job. I can't thank them enough for the advanced plays, but when they've gone with that look, that is generally their flair look. Doesn't mean they're not going to switch it, but it's generally what they've liked to do. And we went over 3 things in the timeout. We went over 3 things, and when they came out in that look, we were screaming that this is what they've shown. So everybody's got those tendencies. We've got them. And but my staff did a great job with preparation, as they have done all year. They deserve a lot of credit for the stuff you guys are asking me, whether it be the offense, whether it be the defense. My staff deserves a lot of credit.
And you get 6 of your 13 assists off the bench. What's that mean?
You know, we saw it in practice yesterday. A lot of them got minutes because of what they did yesterday in practice. Eliza Maupin was one of our best cutters. Imani Lester was one of our best passers yesterday in practice. And they had a rhythm with Zy Walker being the other one that was really cutting. So it says a lot, and it also says the importance of practicing well, because I making my notes last night in preparation for this game, I had it in my mind that I was going to get them looks early. And, you know, you look at Amani Lester, she plays 5 minutes and 9 seconds, but she's a +6 in her time on the floor. That's really, really good.
We saw Gabby Gregory go down at the beginning of the second half. What was the decision making to put her back in, and what was it like her being back in, battling through that pain?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. She, I mean, the decision making on Gabby is she's a tough kid. She's come back many times after an injury and made big plays. Okay, so the decision was Gabby's a winner. Gabby's a winner. And, yeah, I'm always going to give her a look. You know, she struggled at Iowa, right? Struggled at Iowa. Had her in late. Big shot at the free throw line. Big three right in front of the bench. So, you know, there wasn't much of a decision. We needed to get, I wanted her in to see what she could do early enough that if she couldn't go, I could get somebody else back in. If you wait too late, it might be a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you don't have that answer, right? Well, she obviously tweaked it again, and so we'll see where it's at. But, you know, we got a lot of winners on this team, and she's one of them, so they generally want to get back in, and they all fight pretty hard to get back in.
Are you willing to hit the gritty for us?
I told them I was. You know, there are some things that the team saves, and I think Serena Sundell saved me like a good point guard should. Because I told Beck and I told Jamia, hey, all right, if you guys want to do this, and Serena goes, yeah, I think you better not do that. I said, that's the mark of a good point guard right there. All right, guys, thanks.